Let's talk about a battlefield that has no borders, a weapon that makes absolutely no sound, and a war that's fought entirely inside our own minds. Yep, we are talking about psychological warfare.
So let's start with a really basic question. How do you win a war? I mean, think about it for a second. When you hear that word war, what's the first image that pops into your head?
I'm willing to bet it's something like soldiers, right? Weapons, tanks, raw physical force. And for most of history, you'd be spot on. Winning was all about physical dominance. Bigger armies, more ships, stronger air forces. It was all about tangible strength on a real, physical battlefield.
But here's a thought. What if the most important battlefield wasn't actually a physical place? What if winning had nothing to do with who has the biggest bombs, and everything to do with who controls the story, who controls morale, who controls the simple will to keep fighting?
So to really get our heads around how this battle for the mind is fought, we're going to crack open a classic. It's a foundational text from way back in the mid-20th century called, you guessed it, Psychological Warfare by a guy named Paul Linebarger.
Okay, so let's get into a definition. What is psychological warfare? Because as Linebarger points out, it is way, way more than just propaganda or, dropping leaflets out of an airplane. It's a much deeper, more complex game.
So here's the core idea from Linebarger. It's all about using specific tactics to crush the enemy's morale, to influence what entire populations think, and to achieve military goals. And here's the kicker. A lot of the time, this happens without any direct combat. It's about winning the war before a single shot is even fired. Think about that.
And Linebarger really hammers this home. This isn't some separate phase of a war. It's not like, okay, now we do the psychological part. Nope. It's happening before the fighting starts, while it's going on, and even long after the treaties are signed. And because you're dealing with ideas, with feelings, there are no clean front lines. The boundaries are just completely blurred.
All right, so you might be thinking this is all, a modern thing, something cooked up in the 20th century.